Have you ever thought about taking an axe to your life expectancy for the approval of people that you don't even know? Well, I'm glad you're here then. Today we're covering the other side of health. Like, these things can actually kill you, but, you know, at least you'll look diced in the coffin if that's kind of what you're going for. So if you're into that, I guess pause the video and check yourself into an asylum, and then maybe watch the rest of the video. So I'll take a pause. My name's Shay, I'm a nutritionist and an international level athlete, and I don't take these. Okay, so I'll explain what these fat loss drugs actually do. They interact very strangely with people, a little bit like myself, and they have, you know, crazy results as far as fat loss, and consequently very stark consequences like coma and heart failure. So let's get into it. First up is DNP. This is one of the craziest things you'll ever see. It turns your body into a furnace. So basically the last step of energy metabolism from your food is called oxidative phosphorylation. And what this means is there's all these hydrogen ions that have built up outside the walls of your inner mitochondrial membrane. So think of it like the Crusaders waiting outside the walls of Jerusalem, like, let me in, dude, I'm ready to commit heinous acts. And basically this is a lot of potential energy because there's a lot of pressure for the concentration outside to match the concentration inside. Kind of like a hydroelectric dam, it harnesses the energy as the hydrogen ions go through. And actually 90% of the energy we get from food comes from this process specifically. So what does DNP do? DNP is like, man, yeah, we don't do that here. So DNP completely disables this whole thing. It turns off the dam generator, the ATP synthase, and the hydrogen ions just come through via another pathway, and none of this energy is harnessed, okay? So it's just all converted to heat. It's also really liver toxic. A lot of these oral drugs can be because they have to pass through your liver to get through your regular systemic blood flow. But one of the strangest things about this DNP drug is the fact that, yeah, as I said, your body just incinerates all this energy. Like, there was a video a couple years ago about Derek from More Plays More Dates saying he was doing bouncing work in the middle of winter, outdoors, at night, in Canada, just in like a dress shirt. He's an absolute furnace. I'd imagine it'd be so problematic trying to sleep. You're just like so hot chronically because food is just heat. That's all it's doing for you. Yeah, really interesting drug. Don't even go near it though. Next up, Ozempic. Ozempic, out of the three I'm talking about here today, is by far the safest. It is FDA approved for people with type 2 diabetes at least, which is the lifestyle-based form of diabetes. And this drug targets one thing: GLP-1. GLP-1 is released in response to us eating food, has a lot of downstream effects like your insulin response to, you know, mop up these carbs that are coming in from the meal you just ate. And what Ozempic will do, it'll just completely amplify this whole GLP-1 response, and you're thinking, well, why is this relevant? Well, GLP-1 does a lot of things, including satiety, right? It kicks into this whole sort of feedback system a lot stronger, so you just eat a lot less. So it all seems pretty safe, right? Basically, your thyroid gland up here is really responsible as far as metabolism goes for your body, metabolic rate, and it has these C cells. If GLP-1 is high, big rushes around your meals because of Ozempic, then these C cells can really replicate a lot, hyperplasia, and then this is a big cancer risk for thyroid cancer. So that's not good. Although this is more proven in rat studies, and some people are going to say, well, like, oh, humans have less C cells, so it's less of a risk for thyroid cancer. And although there's some evidence to say Ozempic's not a big cancer risk, there are some saying it is. And I kind of just question here, because the thing with these pharma companies is they can just do as many studies as they want, and if it's not the results they want, they're just like, just put that one in the bin lab, try again, let's see if we get good results next time, and then we can publish it. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say this thing will give you cancer. I think the main issue here is the optimism. It's the fact that, you know, if you're overweight and miserable, this is being marketed as like a miracle drug, but if you lose weight from something you didn't even work for, you're probably still going to be miserable, maybe even more miserable, because at least you had the hope initially, like, oh, if I just lose some weight, I'll be happier. But now it's like, oh, what next? And if you just focused on health the natural way, you'd realize that, you know, exercise is the #1 contributor to better mental health in a vacuum. And Ozempic's just kind of circumventing this. It's like, oh, forget actual health, forget mental health. Let's just look better, okay? Now the counterpoint here is like, if you're really struggling to lose weight, yes, the small risk of thyroid cancer kinda is outweighed by the fact that things like stroke and heart disease are really high risk if you're obese, so you're kind of trading one set of risk for another, but the thyroid cancer risk is a bit lower than the other thing, so I guess it's kind of fair enough, and I do empathize a little bit with the fact that it's really hard to see if you're a beginner what advice is actually going to work as far as bettering your lifestyle, because everyone's trying to sell you something, and it's like, you know, 7 fad diets and 6 months straight of heart palpitations later, you've lost 2 pounds, because it's hard to see what's actually true, right? But anyway, this is so popular, so I thought it was worth mentioning. It is less dangerous, but I do like to hate on anything that's popular. So sorry about that. Lastly, if you've wanted to destroy one of your major organs with a simple pill regime, look no further than clenbuterol. I wanted to include one that's more towards like the steroids and fitness community, which clenbuterol is. Like, usually if I just see a moderately in shape guy in public, I like to go straight to accusing them of being on clenbuterol just because it's fun. If you're enjoying, please be sure to drop a like and consider taking DNP. No, consider subscribing, it's free. I'd love to have you on board, it really helps me out. But yeah, let's continue. Like GLP-1, it does a few things. It's actually designed as a bronchodilator, which helps with, you know, breathing disorders, but it also agonizes all your adrenergic receptors, which are what a lot of steroids target. Okay, they make you, you know, grow a lot of muscle. Clen also raises your energy expenditure by 21% and your fat metabolism by 39%. So it's really potent for losing weight. This is how a lot of bodybuilders, they might employ Clen to, you know, get them to those really dangerous amounts of body fat percentage, so they can get all oiled up on stage and get judged by other men. I don't do this, dude. My favorite part about Clen is it just destroys your heart, like straight up. I'll pull up this case study here of this 22-year-old that ended up with myocarditis. 22. Like, these are probably all the people like the general population praises for like health and fitness tips. Like I guarantee this 22-year-old's like selling fitness programs. Be a heart scar tissue, which, you know, can replace muscle tissue and make it really hard for your heart to actually work. Heart thickening, heart hypertrophy. These are all massive risks for actual heart failure. So it's like, why are we doing this? Like, we're taking these drugs to look in shape, but we're like actually dying inside. It's like, oh, bro, you should see me after this cut. I'm gonna be so shredded. It's like, you're gonna be dead, dude. Like, probably one of the most dangerous things on the planet as well. You're not gonna be able to get a heart transplant because they're not gonna give you one over like a healthy guy who hasn't destroyed his body with copious amounts of juice. So stay away from all 3 of these, in particular this one. But yeah, hopefully this was interesting. I thought this was kind of a fun topic to cover. But yeah, man, don't go here. Don't follow fat burning drugs. It's not going to make you happy. If you are trying to lose weight, I guess just bump up your training volume and or intensity, dial in your sleep hours, and you know, make sure your diet's mostly whole foods, and I guarantee, even if the weight loss isn't crazy, you're just gonna feel so much better. So that's it for me. If you did enjoy this video, there's some more there. I'll see you next time.